Joining us right now, one of the greatest investigative journalists I've ever worked with. He's the director of research at the Government Accountability Institute. He's an author of that great book, Controligarchs. He's my good friend, Seamus Bruner. Seamus, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey, John, Amanda, it's so good to see you.
All right. I think everybody thought, hey, we're getting the Epstein client list. And what they got today was like a really bad version of the phone book. Obviously, some behind the scenes maneuvering. The Trump administration couldn't get what it wanted from the bureaucracy. It's just going to have to dig a second time. But I think you have some good idea of what ultimately will be in these documents. Tell us what you think the FBI might be withholding that we one day will get.
Yeah, it was kind of a swing and a miss today. And there's been so many wins lately that I guess, we're due for one underwhelming announcement. But we have not seen anything in these documents that we haven't seen before. It's certainly no so-called client list. What we need to see is the people who were so-called clients. And really, I mean, documents are going to be great. I'm looking forward to, some 2,000 pages, apparently, that Pam Bondi is going to get from the FBI. At least we hope so. We hope it hasn't been deleted. There's a whistleblower who says that documents are being deleted. We haven't confirmed that. But really what we need is arrests. There's no statute of limitations on some of these crimes, like human trafficking and crimes against children. There's no statute of limitations. So what we need are arrests. Alina Habba has said that there will be arrests, or at least there should be. And so that's the next announcement I want to hear. I don't want to read any more, flight logs. Flight logs are not evidence of anything. I mean, people fly on Jeffrey Epstein's flight. It's not the best move, but some of these people didn't know what he was up to. So it's not a sign of guilt that someone flew on his plane, and it's not a sign of guilt that they were in his black book or in his contact list. And so more details about people who are in contact lists or on the flight logs, that's old news. We've been through it many, many times. I'm not the only person who's read all of these documents. We need to know evidence of guilt, and there need to be arrests.
Do you think we'll ever know it all? Do you think we'll ever find out exactly who was on the list, who maybe even was above Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, that's still a huge question for a lot of people, is who was directing Jeffrey Epstein? Do you think we'll ever get it all? Well, there's a lot of, incidents throughout our history where we still don't know it all. The JFK files, I understand that the Trump administration wants to release JFK files. There's other incidents where we don't have all the facts. So I don't know, Amanda, if we'll have it in this century or maybe next. I hope so. We need to. We need to know who was above Jeffrey Epstein, who was directing this operation. Here's the thing I really wonder is, back when all of this stuff broke years and years ago, there were reports, I believe it was the New York Post and the Miami Herald has done some really good work on this. The FBI apparently seized vaults of tapes. There were people on tape. None of us want to see what's on those tapes, but what happened to those tapes? Who has those tapes? Is our intelligence community keeping those because they want to maintain the leverage that having powerful people on tape doing horrible things provides? There's a lot we need to know, and so I do have hope that in phase one here that there will be phase 2 and 3 and 4 and many more to come, and we will get at least much closer to the full picture. But right now, I don't have a whole lot of confidence until we get some more.
And multiple members of Congress have come on this show, Seamus, saying that they want to know the answer. Yeah. Was Jeffrey Epstein or his evidence used to blackmail people in any form, in any under the government's color or in concert with the government? That's a really important question. When members of Congress say it openly now, you realize that they know there's something there that they want to get an answer to. Another thing we don't know everything about, seems hard to believe after all the work you and I and everyone else has done, is we still don't know all the tactics that the FBI and the intelligence community used to spy on President Trump's campaign during the so-called Russia collusion caper, which turned out to be no collusion, and the only caper was the misdeeds of the intelligence community. But the documents President Trump declassified January 20th, 2021, never got released. A month into this president, they're still not released. How important is it that we find out all the things that the FBI may have done to surveil our president?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, a honeypot is the word of the day. James Comey is allegedly, we've not confirmed this yet, but running a honeypot operation on the Trump 2016 campaign. And so who that was targeting, I don't know that it was President Trump himself, maybe just members of the campaign. but it's unsettling. I guess it's a feature of running an intelligence agency like the FBI or CIA to try to entrap people. You just would hope it would be the country's enemies, not our candidates for president like Donald Trump. And so we hope to get more information on that. I mean, that was a really shocker. I'm thin on details as far as whether Comey's FBI was running honeypot operations, but they were up to so many dirty tricks, John, as you know so well, and I know, so many dirty tricks going on in 2016, even in 2020, that I wouldn't put anything past James Comey and his crew.
There's a heavily redacted passage from the fourth FISA warrant, the final FISA warrant, that I think could be one of the most important eliminations of a redaction in American history. We're fighting to get it. Hopefully we'll get it there. But we need to know all the tactics that were used to spy on a president and his campaign. I hope we get there soon. I want to turn to one other subject, the way that we're digging in more and more to DOGE. We're starting to get a good sense of how the government works. Why could one businessman do what 25 years of Congress could never do, which is unveil where our money was really going?
Yeah, that's the biggest question I have, is why did it take so long to reveal all of this stuff? It really does feel at times that many, at least in the Republican Party, are controlled opposition, while it, like at the border, for example, all it took, Trump is making it look so easy to stop these, waves and waves of migrants. Why did it take so long? Why has it taken decades? Conservatives have been fighting for reducing the size of government for decades, and yet all of a sudden, one businessman, Elon Musk, with DOGE and Donald Trump's blessing, has been able to do what Republicans haven't been able to do in a generation or two. So this is really encouraging stuff, but it makes you wonder, all of the Republican excuses about, we need to, it takes time, or it's difficult to do. It doesn't seem like it's actually all that difficult. You just need the political will.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a bunch of 20-something, and Elon Musk had the will and the capability to do it quickly. We know one thing: you have the will and the capability to do some of the greatest investigative journalists this country's ever seen. You and Peter and the great gang at GAI, we're so lucky to have you. Seamus, thanks for joining us today.
John, Amanda, thanks.